بصائر للناس وهدى ورحمة لقوم يوقنون.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. All praise be to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the earth. And peace and blessings be upon our beloved messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dear brothers and sisters, I salute you all with the salutation of the people of paradise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all my Muslim brothers and sisters out there who have been blessed by fasting the blessed month of Ramadan. We are coming to the end of the blessed month of Ramadan, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the strength and the energy to continue the momentum that we started with. The best part of the holy month of Ramadan is the end, the last 10 days that are very sacred to all of us. Within them there is the night of power, Laylatul Qadr, which is greater than 1,000 months of worship. Now, as we're coming or approaching to the last few days of the holy month of Ramadan, there is an obligation to all Muslims, which is Zakat al-Abdan, or Zakat al-Fitr as known. Now one would wonder, how different is this from the normal zakah that we know? The zakah that is one of the pillars of Islam, the 5 pillars of Islam, one of them is zakah. So how do we distinguish between the two of them? The first type, which is Zakatul Mal, the purification of money, it is based on an obligation as a Muslim to fulfill this important pillar, which is purifying your wealth. And this has a specific calculation. But today we're talking about Zakatul Abdan, which is specifically for the month of Ramadan, and it is a purification for the bodies, as the word Abdan means bodies. Now, a few questions arise into your mind when it comes to this particular zakah, which is Zakat al-Abdan or Zakat al-Fitr. The first question is, who is to pay this zakah? The second question is, how do we pay it? And the third question says, when to pay it? So I'll take you through, insha'Allah, the 3 important points so that you can understand and be able to fulfill this important ritual in the blessed month of Ramadan. Now the first one is, who should pay it? Every Muslim has to pay Zakat al-Fitr or Zakat al-Abdan. And in the prophetic tradition it talks about a free man and a slave, a man and a woman, and even those who are less fortunate, if they can. Now what about how do we pay it? I mean, how do we calculate this particular zakah? In the prophetic tradition it talks about something called sa', 1 sa', which is equivalent to 2.048 kilograms of grain. Now there are 5 types of food substance to be given out as Zakatul Fitr or Zakatul Abdan. The first one is date, wheat, grain, dry grapes and dry milk. But in modern days we have rice, which is a substitute that can be given as Zakat al-Fitr. And it is highly recommended for people to pay out in goods, in the ones that I mentioned, more than giving it out as money. But it might be difficult in today's day to provide these items to the poor, and it is recommended that people pay out in terms of money. which is equivalent to 1.5 Omani riyals, to the charity organizations which are specialized in giving out zakat al-fitr. Now, when should you pay this? The scholars have differed when it comes to this. Some of them say that it should be paid within the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. Some of them say within the last day before the day of Eid. And some of them go to the extent of saying that before the Eid prayer, so between the dawn prayer and the Eid prayer, you can give out zakat al-fitr. And one thing that needs to be addressed when it comes to zakat al-fitr is who is going to give out this zakah. Will a person who is needy also be required to pay the zakah? So the scholars also have differed. Some of them say that a person who can afford his food for 1 year, then he is eligible to pay zakat al-abdan. Some of them says, and which is the highly recommended opinion, if a person can afford his ration or food for a month, then he is eligible to pay zakat al-abdan. And another opinion says that if a person can afford his daily meal, then he is obliged to pay zakat al-abdan. And he is supposed to pay zakat al-abdan or zakat al-fitr, and can also receive this from other people as they are under the category of the poor and the needy. With this explanation, I hope it is clear, and I hope you all look forward to giving out this important ritual to the needy and the poor, which will make a bond within the community. And I would also like to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept your prayers, fasting, supplication and dedication in these last few days. And I congratulate you with the coming of Eid al-Fitr al-Mubarak. Eid Mubarak from me, Hatem Al-Abdussalam.